Hey, hello, it's the normal player guy, and hey, guess what? Part three of our 8th anniversary is about to land. So, yeah, of course, we've got these two new Carnival LRs. They're brilliant. So they kick it off. Then, of course, we have the Easy A's that will kick off part three as well, starting with our free to play LR. We have this Hercule free to play, and then, of course, we have the 5th anniversary LRs, Vegito and Gogeta. But we're going to be focusing on Babidi and Hercule for this one because their Easy A's have just been dropped. It's pretty nice. They're all free to play. Obviously, a bit of a grind, but it's some content to do, right? So we're going to have a look at this Babidi. Just bear in mind, by the way, this is the third LR Babidi that we've had. Right, there are some other characters, which is pretty insane because there's plenty of characters who need LRs or just maybe deserving of at least some representation of an LR. And yet, Babidi has three LRs. Nonetheless, so this is pretty great. So we'll check out between the base and we'll check out between what they do on an Easy A. Obviously, when they just came out, they were made to have an Easy A, so that's fine. Anyway, prior to this, they were 3 key 80% for Inhuman Deeds, 3 key 120% at the start of turn, Extreme Class Allies 20% to stats, you have a 30% chance to evade if there's a super class enemy, and of course, you gain 30% stats when performing a super attack if there's an extreme class enemy. Of course, you greatly raise defense and defense alone with a 30% chance to seal, which is pretty great. And then, of course, the 18 keys greatly raise attack as well as defense, so you get the attack in there. And again, you get your 30% chance to stun. So let's have a look. So obviously, we have 3 key 120% for Inhuman Deeds, which is actually pretty good. We'll have a look at that in a moment because I think that might just be one of the better category leads. Also, for Inhuman Deeds, there is a Fighting Legend Goku event where you got the GT one where you got to use Inhuman Deeds. This one could be in particular very very nice as it fills the roster. So let's have a look. 3 key 140% at the start of term. That's pretty great. So what are we looking at in terms of stats? So we are looking, and it's fair to say 100% because he is totally free to play. 15,000. Coming in at 15,000, this is pretty nice with 150, 140k. That's no joke. Coming in at 14,000 attack, that 23,000 health is actually huge. Yeah, having him on is going to make your team quite a bit more tankier. I'm not particularly too sure if he has a 200% team, possibly on Margin Boo, I can't remember. Terrifying Conquerors, maybe. So, yeah, so coming in with 22,500 health, 14,000 attack, and a pretty cool 15,000 defense. Considering the new LRs that have come out, the Carnival ones, that's actually really good. So let's have a look. So yeah, 3 key 140%. Extreme class allies get 30% now, so that's really nice. No key, but you are getting stats, which is actually really nice. So could be a huge buff for the people that we're going to see in a moment. You now have a 50% chance to dodge if there's a superclass enemy, and this time now you now get chance of performing a crit plus 10% for all extreme class allies, yet a 40% when performing a super attack, plus 2 key if there's an extreme class enemy. So that's nice. Rather than getting just 30%, you now get 40% and 2 key. Extreme class enemy? Interesting. So, it's funny how, I mean, extreme class enemy is probably fine. I mean, if it was built around a superclass, you'd say, yeah, okay. So it means that against a superclass enemy, which is kind of common, you're going to get this, right? That's fine. You have a 50% chance to dodge, including the super attack. But really, the extra stats come in extreme class enemy. Again, that's not impossible. It all depends on where you use him. So, of course, now we have a greatly raised defense, but now you have a 50, not 30, 50% chance to seal. And of course, same again, but this time with attack. But again, you get 50% chance to stun. Dude, that's actually really, really good. So, what's that? Pre's nice shot and trump card Deborah. Right, really, really good. So the fact that, so I mean, either one, you greatly raised defense at the minimum. I mean, with attack, that's actually not too bad. Going again, the attack's pretty solid. So again, you could go for the 18 key and you got a 50% chance to stun. If you go for additionals, you're further and you get the super attack, you further greatly raise, and then failing the stun, you still have a 50-50 chance of sealing, which would be really nice. So that's pretty good. Overall, it's a well thought out unit. I mean, I like this. I mean, okay, if I can be picky, I'd say these days we probably want like a better tier, like something that just pops a bit more, should I say? Because like we want key as well. I mean, why not? Even just like one key can make a world of difference for the links that this guy's probably gonna get. And this. So there's an so. I guess you could say you're covering all deals, but like maybe it would be nice if you have the four. I mean, it's different when you say like you get this additional stat buff when they're in attack down, defense down, stun, seal, whatever. But to say that there's against an extreme class enemy, I mean, it's hard. I'd have to look through to see if there's like a extreme super battle road or an infinite history where you could probably pop this. Yeah, infinite history probably going to be fine. Now this would reset every single time, right? So every time, so every well, yeah, it would reset every turn, but it doesn't stack. So you'd only get it the once for the super attack. Now I suppose yeah, you could probably get it. Running battlefields probably not too bad actually. You could probably get it in battlefield. That being said, it's a nice support. It's pretty great. You do also give crit for all allies as well. Should you do it, you do get your additional key, but it all depends if you go against an extreme class enemy. Interesting. I suppose if you're up against an extreme class enemy, your dodge is totally out of the question. But again, we'll see. The super attack is really, really nice. So let's have a look. Brutal Beatdown, Master of Magic, Margin Resurrection Plan, Thirst for Conquest, Nightmare, Shattering the Limit, and Legendary Power. Right, Shattering the Limit is nice, small amount of stats, and definitely some key. Then we have Thirst for Conquest, which is a really nice amount of stats. In terms of Margin Resurrection Plan, yeah, okay, so there is like one usable unit on this, and that's really about it. So you're probably not realistically going to get that unless you're running said unit. But to be fair, I think he's going to be one of the best partners. Legendary powers like Brutal Beatdown, and Master of Magic, Nightmare as well. I mean, you could probably get these no problem. So, along with like Greatly Raise Attack as well in here, this guy's probably going to hit fairly reasonable for a free to play LR. So Margin Boo Saga, of course, Corroded Body and Mind, which is a huge help. Resurrected again, not bad. Terrifying Conquerors, probably don't need him, and Inhuman Deeds. So like the villain build for Margin Boo Saga, yeah, Corroded Body and Mind, fantastic, and Human Deeds, gonna be fantastic, right? If you're struggling for missions, legitimately, this guy could do it as well as being a support. Remember, Corroded Body and Mind, the Legion Ember, also gives support, so you could theoretically have like 60% support, which is pretty nutty. Of course, we do have Margin Vegeta, so you can transform from the fourth turn, and that's pretty great, right? There's nothing else about it. You can just straight away go into this. Nonetheless, sticking in this form, so there are two units in particular which this unit helps out the most. We have, and they're both free to play LRs, funny enough as well, which is again Babidi and Babidi, which is insane. Babidi with Fatbu and Babidi with Dabura. So again, you're going to be sharing 6 links across them. So what we're going to be getting: Brutal Beatdown, Master of Magic, Thirst for Conquest, Nightmare, Shattering the Limit, Legendary Power. The fact that these two are going to have like Thirst for Conquest, Shattering the Limit, and you can also get like this Master of Magic is really nice. So again, really, really good there. And again, same thing. You can get the same sort of deal, right? They have Thirst for Conquest, they have like Master of Magic, plenty, and the Margin Resurrection Plan, which is 20% defense. So, like with Margin Resurrection Plan, as well as this, that is a huge amount. That's 35% defense, 15% attack alone. That's a lot. Again, these guys, they're nothing special, but they're pretty solid. So here we go. So like, no, it's going to be this guy. So again, like having these links is pretty great. So I mean, this guy, when these two in particular, these EZAs pop out for these units, then suddenly we're talking something great, right? Because again, like this guy, guaranteed seal with a 50% chance to stun, and what does this guy have? He has his 30% chance to stun, and he has a 30% chance to seal and a 30% chance to stun. So, dude, when these get there, I mean, even right now, right, they're going to be pretty solid. Going to be a dynamite rotation. I mean, seriously, the teams that they're going to be sharing and stuff like Majin Buu Saga, Inhuman Deeds, Worldwide Chaos. right? So that could be really nice. I mean, they're going to do well, right? They're going to do well with the fact that they have like margin resurrection plan to really buff their key and defense. Could be huge, right? It's a shame that this one's not actually on Inhuman Deeds. That's a bit of a shame. Yeah, it's a bit of a crying shame considering the kind of caliber of the people that they are. But yeah, no, I mean it's great. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame that this is margin power, right? You think margin power? Are you guys on margin power? Just so I know. You see, you're not even on margin power, despite the fact that it's margin boo, and despite the fact it's margin power. How is this guy not on margin power? Like this is insane. Uh, he's the pinnacle of margin power, right? So yeah, so it's a bit weird, but yeah. Anyway, so outside of some pretty stupid teams. But yeah, that's pretty daft because like margin power should be here, and again, the fact that this guy isn't on it as well is pretty nutty. Right. Anyway, so with this guy, no, it is with this guy. So of course, his best linking partners are going to be them two. It really buffs them and their LR. So again, you can share quite a lot of it of power. No doubt that you'll have something with this, right? Yeah, so that's going to be 5 margin resurrection plan, shattering the limit, legendary power. That would presume you're running these side by side, which again, I suppose is not impossible. But yeah, so again, if you think about extreme int, you've also got these guys. So again, brutal beatdown, first of a conquest, shattering the limit. If you think about monotype, right, so you're going to get a little bit of key and plenty of stats. Or you think battlefield key and plenty of stats from this. It's actually going to be legitimately quite good. Bojack, because he has thirst for conquest, and he also has this. So again, sharing key, sharing like 30 odd percent defense, and you're going to be sharing some attacks. So brilliant. Extreme int, not doing too bad. Extreme int, 50% support. That could be especially nice. So we got key, right? Plenty of attack. Could be a really, really great. So overall, fantastic linking partners. Yeah, okay, you could say it is limited to Deborah, kinda, just a little bit. But with like Thirst for Conquest and some key links, you do unlock some potential to be able to use them on like Inhuman Deeds and Terrifying Conqueror. Speaking of Bojack, what do you share? Resurrected. Okay, so outside of Extreme Monotype, Resurrected. Would you run him on Terrifying Conquerors? Probably not. That team's too stacked. Then again, if you're a newer player and you don't quite have that stacked team, which by the way will just be STRLRs, yeah, fine. But again, it really helps these two in particular because these have more of a use. They're like you're likely to flush them out a bit more, and if you really like these units, it might just be an incentive to use them because both of these two are battlefield. Right, you got to use them in battlefield. It's where you can get the shadow dragons as well as well. You can get there's a few other units. Right, there's a Vegeta, there's a Goku, there is there's the Ginyu. So I mean, there's a few units. Oh, there's Metal Cooler. There's a few units in there by now. They're all getting easy A's. One of these two might be next, but it's nice to see these two getting flushed out a little bit more. So that being said, we now have an awakening. So that's from the 4th turn. So there's no HP restriction. There's no enemy restriction. It's just nice. So yeah, that's fine. So again, we'll check out the base real quick. So 80% to yeah, so that was fine. So you were unable to attack except when finish is activated, but you did gain 3 key, 120% defense, which matched, and you get 80% when receiving an attack if key is 12. So if you got yourself a super, well, theoretically, then you get the additional defense, right? You reduce damage received by 30%. If you have 15 or more, and then you get a nice little bonus to an attack. You do only need to get 29%, no, 29 orbs, and there's one for 30, depending on how you get. So with these easy 8, obviously it'll just be jazzed up a little bit. So you go up by 10% to 115, you go up by defense alone to 100%, still when keys 12 or more, so prioritize orbs. And of course, having a 3 key will help reduce damage by 40% when receiving an attack when key is 15 or more. So that's good, right? So make sure you get the 15 key, which is not terrible because you don't even need the 18. Recovers HP at the end if you hit 18 key, but again, I think this is just this is just a niche little add-on, but what makes this real nice is 300%, because again, remember, we have like a pretty respectable 14,000 attack, having like a pretty decent team, because you can easily get like a 170 for this guy at the very least. Having this is going to make them hit very hard, right? And again, super ultimate damage to the enemy. Yeah, no, absolutely. So I reckon this is fantastic, right? I mean, what's really helping outside of the key mechanic is this, right? They've received reduced damage, as well as having like 15,000 defense with built-in defense. As well as that, you'd also trigger this as well as getting this. So, dude, you'd have 250% defense whilst having this. So, I mean, I'd like to see this in action. I have a lot of gameplay videos to do, but they're all going to be lined up. There's too much to do. I'm too busy in real life. I mean, it's just that. So there'll be loads of videos spamming them out for when the 8th anniversary is done. But like this guy, when I get round to him, I really, really want to test this. And it's so easy to get. So it's going to be really nice. Speaking of which, we have a new change of partners. By the way, Super Saiyan Royal Lineage Saiyan Pride over in the Flash kind of come out. So that replaces all the margin links. But that being said, you now unlock different people. And this is also bad for another reason. So now that a few of the links have changed, we've got like Super Saiyan Royal Lineage, you're unlocking Vegeta. So we're looking like this guy who's now being flushed out more. Okay, so this guy kind of needs a Goku, and it also needs like a Bulma and Trunks to actually become somewhat relevant. But again, you're sharing like corroded body and mind and resurrected warriors. And if you're struggling for any of those teams, could legitimately make out. Yeah, okay, sure, yeah, Extreme Int, right? This guy, he needs a Trunks, so running him on a monotype Extreme Int is not preferably the way to go, but with like plenty of attack links, right? You're not, and some considerable key here. You could prop each other up. Again, who else should you have? This LR, right? He's an older LR. People are probably pulling him. I believe on my quest to get one of the Carnival banners, I think he's at 90% for me now alone. But again, you're getting plenty of attack, plenty of key, plenty of attack. So again, Majin Buu, Resurrected Warriors could be really, really great. This LR could be interesting. Same Pride and Legendary Power. So, Inhuman Deeds and Extreme Int. So again, you rock this LR. People should have pulled him by now as well. Because, if you haven't, then you haven't. But if you got him, could be pretty usable. They both have keys. So, yeah, that could be pretty decent. So, again, different kind of people coming out. Remember, like, this guy's pretty solid with his heals and his orb changes, right? This guy has an AoE with his stun. He leads Super Saiyan 2. I mean, legitimately, in this particular form, not this one, he is a beast. So, that's fine. But yeah, the other bad thing would be, so the links. So basically, you'd have to set up the team for like Majin Buu Saga or Corroded Body and Mind or Inhuman or any of these teams really, based around this guy. It's because you got like Super Saiyan Royal Lineage, Saiyan Pride over in the Flash, right? You got different other, all the other units that you could use on like for example, this guy for Corroded Body and Mind, this guy, all of these. So if you wanted to use it, you're probably building the team around him, which means that this is just you're going to be no. So it means then if you're rocking them, would you be rocking these two? Maybe. But if you rock these two, this guy is going to do nothing. You'll get like legendary power and you might get Shattering the Limit, but that's really it. So that the only problem is the changeling. I mean, I think they've changed one too many. I mean, you could have kept. I mean, you could remove Super Saiyan for like one of the margin plans. Yeah, right, yeah, and you could remove Saiyan Pride, so you could have kept Royal Lineage over in a Flash. That way, you could have like a key mechanic on top, and you could still roll. The Royal Lineage is still key and attack, so you could still work and prop up a few others. I think they've just changed one too many personally. Just get rid of Super Saiyan. What was it prior? It was Brutal Beatdown. Okay, so just keep Brutal Beatdown and then you'll be totally fine. So I think that's probably what they should have done. But outside of that, I think this will be an absolute solid unit. Helps out a lot of other units and the teams. Well, yeah, I'd imagine so. The fact that this guy has a finish effect, remember you can't do anything, but when you transform, it means you're about to hit this guy. You're about to hit somebody pretty hard. So yeah, get to grinding. Remember, to be totally free to play, you'll need to do this thrice. One to get all your paths open, get to SA10. Another one just to get to SA20, and then another one to get to SA25. Honestly, it's not that bad these days. But yeah. So anyway, we'll take a few of these off, and we're going to check out the other lovely free to play, and that is Hercule. Hercule. So he is pretty great, and he may legitimately be the contender for probably the best Hercule. I have a tab open or two to showcase some of the other Hercules, because personally for me, this Int Hercule is an absolute goat and one of the best units in the game. Period. Right? Don't try and talk me out of this. He period just is brilliant. Right? I mean, like this one as well. He can legitimately do well. Nonetheless, glorious strike Hercule. So what did he do? Earthbred fighters. He still had defense 120% and still had the chance to ruin everyone's all the enemies' fun at the start of turn. He does have to attack on super attack. He has key and builds up stats with World Tournament allies or enemies. And then, of course, he has additionals built in and he has revives. But now he's made quite a bit better. So we have Earthbred fighters, 77%. Remember, like the only other Earthbred fighters we have is like Yamcha. So again, um, he could legitimately be like a lead. In fact, let me just click on it real quick. Who do we have? Yeah, okay. So it's Yamcha, Yajirobe at 130, but otherwise proper leads. We have the World Tournament Goku. Oh, we have Yamcha. Not many people are going to have that. So legitimately, this is a lead. So what are we talking like stats wise? So again, fair to say 100% because he's totally free to play. So we have 8,500. That seems pretty disappointing, but wait until you know what he does. His attack actually is not too far off the LR. I mean, what? This LR has 13.9 and this guy has 13.3. Dude, outside of a terrible start of turn defense, this is, that's something, and the HP is pretty respectable. So what are we talking, right? So remember, 8,500 defense not going to matter because this guy is 200% at the 200% at the start of turn, flat out. That's just defense. 50% chance to ruin the enemy's fun, to lower their attack and defense by 20%. That's pretty great, right? I reckon it should probably just be flat out, just lower the attack and defense. Why not? Because it makes this unit more relevant. Anyway, attack 150% on super attack, which is actually pretty respectable compared to the LR, who gets roughly the same. So you get 3 key, 50% to stats, and guaranteed seal on attack when there's a World Tournament ally or World Tournament enemy. The fact that you guarantee a seal on attack, just on attack, never mind super attack, and you get the additional 3 key 50%. So it means it's actually worth going for a World Tournament ally because this is no joke. 3 key, extra 50, extra seal. Actually, I like that. If you're going to be quite specific, give us something to work with, right? So you now have a 50% chance to do the additional when you're in attack down, defense down. So again, that's fairly common. Guaranteed crit when you're sealed. Okay, when the enemy is sealed. And you have a high chance of reviving with 50% HP recovered when you are KO'd from the 6th turn. Right, okay, so you can do something. You can utilize that in some difficult content or some longer events, right? So 6th turn, you get taken out. However, it's only a 50% chance. So I feel like, okay, well, let's go through super attack effect before we do anything. So massively raised defense, by the way, is a 100% raised defense on the fact that you have 200%, right? So that's huge. Massively raised is huge. And then, of course, you have a high chance of massively raising attack as well. So it's pretty weird. I mean, okay, it's fine. So overall, in a nutshell, shall we see what this guy can do? So you imagine then you got like 200% defense and then you're getting like massively raised. That's pretty good. So Okay, so let's have a look at the downside. So the downside is okay, so the first one is this is a high chance to ruin the enemy's fun. So if this was just 20% at the start of turn, that'll be nice, right? Because everyone benefits from that. That's fine. I would then say I mean, even if you accept it, the one thing I really won't accept is the fact that this is only a 50%. So that's not nice. This would be a far greater unit, a far more well used unit, and a far more thought out unit if that was just guaranteed. You get your once only from the sixth turn, right? Why not? Because this is, I mean, we're entering the ninth year now, right? We're in the ninth year era, and this is what we're getting. Okay, it's free to play, but again, this that's irrelevant. The fact that it's free to play, everything's getting better and better. This should just be flat out a full heal. But yeah, and then of course another thing would be massively raise its defense is very good, but why not guarantee the massively raising attack, right? So why not? Why does not massively raise attack and defense? Because I feel like this is just a bit of a scam, right? It's just RNG. I mean, yeah, okay, it's Hercule. It's not supposed to be like a top tier unit, but why not? We got Videl, STR Videl, who's a beast. We got Yamcha, who's an absolute god, right? Why not? I think this guy needs a really, really good unit, right? He needs a properly good one. None of this 50% this and 50% this, because that's just not the way we want it to go, right? Hercule is, he's the guy who defeated Cell. Come on. Right, okay, so this is where things get a little bit wonky because it's Hercule. So you've got stuff like champion strength, world tournament champion, and money, money, money. Money, money, money belongs to Bulma and Videl and himself. So again, yeah, okay, fine. So what are we rocking? So Earthlings, yeah, legitimately. So where is it? No, see, like the only other worthwhile Bulma you could use, it doesn't qualify because it's Earthlings Bulma, so she won't actually have it. It's the DB Saga Bulma, sorry. So, but again, like, yeah, she's respectable. SDR Videl is pretty decent, right? So, yeah, okay, you could perhaps get it with this guy if you're rocking Earthlings, but again, no. So, what we got? Hero. Do you know who's hero on this? Yeah. When and what team are you going to run Hercule with Tapion? Yes, I would love to know what that is. Yeah, fine. Defense 25%. Brilliant. But yeah, good luck trying to find a way out of that. Right, anyway, what we got? World Tournament Reborn. Who does this? Wow. Wow. Seriously. Killer. Jewel. Pintar. Love Pintar. He's brilliant. Krillin lays him out. Yeah, again, it's no, not we're not. It's not looking too great. World Tournament champion is himself and Master Roshi, right? In fighter, there's a few people. Champion strength, that's reduced damage. Pampot, seriously? Champion strength. I mean, Videl, really? She didn't win anything. Uh, who else? What have we got? Okay, jeez. Um, what are you going to be rocking? Shattering the limit? Okay, fine. Shattering the limit is the only good thing on here. It's keys, a little bit of stats, fine. So what? Margin Boo Saga? Okay, yeah, sure. Earthlings? Yeah, I could actually see that being a good thing. He has reasonable. He may have low start of turn stats, but like this, on board with like this is pretty great. And it depends. I mean, he has no key outside of shattering the limit. So if you trigger Will Tournament, which could be possible actually on an Earthlings. So yeah, so powerful comeback, very interesting. Bond of parent and child, fine, yeah, that's understandable. World tournament, yes, of course. Earthbred and saviors. So saviors, earthlings, yeah, and world tournament, of course. These three, I could actually see you using these. So yeah. So what do we have to share? Okay, so Videl probably going to be the best partner. So we have money, money, money. We have infighter and champion strength. So with that alone, we get 4 keys. She is not on world tournament. This is daft. So, you are going to get 5 key. You are going to have a little bit of damage reduction. So, fine, like Earthlings, Hell, Earthbred Fighters, sure, but mainly Earthlings. It's pretty tough in Extreme Super Battle Road because Earthlings is ass, but, fine. What else do we have? Roshi, because he's World Tournament champion, but you ain't rocking this guy. Um, this Fidel is again pretty solid, but same sort of deal. You need World Tournament, so who can you have? Okay, so World Tournament, super physical, so it might be good for Battlefield. So you'll get what? Okay, so you'll get the 3 key plus you'll get this. That is 5 key for the guy. Fair enough. Because otherwise you'll just be needing 6 key, which is kind of rough. Okay, fine. So you get World Tournament champion and Infighter. So World Tournament champion is 2 key. He is on World Tournament. You, whoever runs this guy ain't rocking Hercule, right? Unless you need something to do with World Tournaments precisely. So again, this is where the links go a little bit funny. Because again, Saviors, no one on here is on... Who's on Saviors? Is it this guy? No, he's not. I don't even know who's on Saviors. Is it him? Dude, I, I can't figure out who's on Saviors. Wow. Okay, so Saviors is going to be like, oh, bet it's these. Oh, okay, fine. This brings me. So real quick, the links kind of ruin this guy. The teams are fine. You could see legitimate use on like Earthlings. World Tournament if you need it. But again, with these links, this is totally ass. You might as well just get rid of some of these and just put key links in because you might as well. Seriously, you might as well. Makes them just more useful. Okay, so the fact that this is going to be by far one of the best units you can link up with kind of brings me to the next question, and that is who is the best Hercule? So we have, so you got plenty of teams here like Saviors, World Tournament, Earthlings, Margin, Boo Saga, and these do stack, by the way, but if you get hit X amount of times, you are forced to transform. So again, they are great in a situation where you can avoid getting hit, but that's not always the case. Most difficult content, the bosses hit like plenty of times. This will only last you a few turns. So this LR will probably be a fantastic contention. Has an easy A. He's free to play from the friend summon, right? So however long it takes you to get all of them is however long it takes. And he has a very easy free to play. Like the easy A area is pretty easy. So again, you can have key and start of turn stats, right? Well, just attack. You get extra defense for the start of turn, but after these 3 turns, this is where he drops off a little bit. You do have a huge, do have 50% chance to dodge, right? And of course, you can lower the enemy's attack. You can stun the enemy, you can raise your own attack and defense for 3 turns, which basically becomes the only way you get defense. Now, for the first 3 turns, he's great. So, like Battlefield, he could be good. He could be good in Super Battle Road because, again, going past 3 turns is not it's not really, you don't really do that. So, again, you receive attack, that's fine. You got a bit of defense, you can dodge, you can still lower the enemy's attack, right? You can still stun. So again, legitimately, you can still work out quite a lot. He has respectable teams like this is support. You can literally, you can gift a bit of attack and defense just so his 18 key legitimately does well because he's pretty good, right? You raise allies attack and defense by 50%. It's pretty huge. But again, past 3 turns and this guy is not going to do too well. But he's, let's just check out his stats because again, his stats are actually pretty solid for an easy A. Yeah, coming in at 13,000 defense is pretty great. 16,500 attack as well is actually really good. It's better than it's better than this LR actually. It's better than this guy because he only has just shy of 14. Okay, so who else do we have? So the only other legitimate good one we have is this guy, who is probably a GOAT. He is one of the best. Dude, if this guy ever gets an easy A, it's GG for the game. You'd have to really dial it up. Nobody could touch him. Cell Max can't touch this guy. That just goes to show how powerful this guy is. And he has no stats. That's the thing. He has a 50% chance to dodge and reduces damage from 50 up to 90. It's pretty crazy. He has a stun chance. Yeah, sure, that's about it. I mean, in terms of links, yeah, no, absolutely bad. But again, he is one of the most useful units, period. He's in the top 10 of the int type units going, right? So again, that's pretty great. It's just unbelievable. So yeah, this guy is truly amazing. Now in Cell Max, the first hit from full health, this guy will take like 100 odd K on normal, but then you fall into this threshold, and then suddenly you're taking double digits from your super attack. I kid you not. And so like sin isn't going to be able to hurt you. So yeah, art legitimately is great. So probably the best Hercule still by far, and of course you got your dodge, which makes him more relevant these days because dodge is all you need these days. So yeah, so we have two easy A's, easy A areas. That's a little bit of stones. Why not? So we have this guy, pretty decent, pretty legitimate. I like him. He's pretty solid. Great support. A little wonky in terms of who you're hitting, and of course, then it's wonky on team buildings if you intend to use Vegeta, because again, like depending on how it works, like corroded body and mind, the Vegetas just don't really have a link set that works with it, right? But okay, fine, whatever. Speaking of which, I'm just curious. Does this guy actually have thirst for conquest? Because if he doesn't, dude, that's worse. Saying pride takes over thirst for conquest. Yeah, that's actually quite bad. All right, okay, so a bit of a wonky one, but still pretty solid. But you just got to be careful how you build the team. That's fine. I suppose at the very least, see, the thing is, you need this. You need the links and the key to help you get 15 key for your damage reduction. But again, you don't strictly attack, but then again, you do support the other unit. So it's six of one, half a dozen of the other. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you think. I like this guy. Some people are hating on this guy already, but hey, you never know. Anyway, it's nice to see this guy getting representation. It's nice to see that there's another free to play Hercule. Why not? So, anyway, thank you very much for watching this video if you made it this far, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you, and bye bye.